Hello, this is Jennifer Duffel, and I am turning in my lesson plan for 9th grade English. Prior to the schools letting out for COVID-19, we had just finished reading the No Fear Shakespeare version of Romeo and Juliet, and I wanted to use that as a foundation as we moved into argumentative essay writing. So I'm going to pose the question, who do you believe is responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet? So the learning goals for this lesson is going to be 1, that each student will be able to independently come up with who they believe is responsible, and 2, that they will be able to correctly write an argumentative essay with supporting evidence defending their answer. But in this lesson, we're going to primarily focus on just the topic sentence and introductory paragraph. Some of the measurable objectives of this lesson will be that 1, though using a cheat sheet, a student will be able to write a topic sentence, and 2, they will be able to turn around and use that topic sentence. Using another cheat sheet, we'll be able to write their introductory paragraph. This will go along with several of the students' IEP goals. Majority of them have a goal that says that they will write a complete essay, including an introduction, body, and conclusion 4 out of 5 times with somewhere between 70 to 80% accuracy by the end of the school year. Another one is that after selecting a topic, students will use the steps in the writing process 4 out of 5 times with a 70-80% accuracy by the end of the school year. As far as accommodations and modifications, my students all have access to Chromebook. I have some that prefer to write assignments and some that prefer to type. So everything that I hand out in a hard copy, there is a digital copy downloaded into Google Classroom, and that is up to them which they choose to do. Students are also set in a small group, so generally 2 to 3 to a table. I want them to do independent thinking, but I also am okay with them leaning on each other for a little bit of assistance and help. All of my students get extended time, so where most students would take about a class period to finish this, my kids will have up to a class period and a half to 2 class periods. And then as far as support, they're going to have several cheat sheets, one being that they're going to have common writing terms. They're going to be able to use their No Fear Shakespeare book, which has character summaries in the very beginning. They're going to have a topic sentence builder, and then they're going to have a graphic organizer that helps them build their whole introductory paragraph. So as far as how the lesson is going to start, basically I'm just going to ask them who likes to argue. And let's be real, every student likes to argue. So, I like to argue. Then I'm gonna start posing just some random questions and have them, identify with which side, which is cats are better than dogs, or dogs are better than cats, and they're gonna raise their hand on which side. We might do tacos are better than hamburgers, or my personal favorite, Justin Timberlake is better than Justin Bieber. And then we're just going to go through a couple of those and have a little fun. Then we're going to show a Shoop video on YouTube. It's just an introduction to argumentative essay writing, and it's real fun. They'll identify with it. It actually does talk about Justin Bieber. I think it opens up with who has better hair, Justin Bieber or some other celebrity. After the video, I'm going to remind them that we just finished reading Romeo and Juliet, and then I'm just going to ask them the question, who do you think is responsible for their death? And they could have so many possibilities. You have Romeo and Juliet themselves, you have Friar Lawrence because he kept their secret, the parents because they were just too much and really demanding. You have Tybalt because he killed Mercutio. The list goes on and on and on. And so they're going to start pondering. I'm going to have them go get their No Fear Shakespeare books, and then I'm going to start passing out all these handouts, and I'm going to give them a folder as well as a yellow highlighter. So once everything is passed out, I'm going to model my finished folder. And so I'm going to show them where each page goes. So which page is the first, second, third. And this is real easy. There's really not that many pages. In fact, the first page is going to be the terms that I was talking about, the common writing terms. The second page is going to be their topic sentence builder. And then the third page is their introductory paragraph graphic organizer. So simple. And if I'm really nice, I will pass out a completed example of my own that they can stick in there to reference. So the very first step of the assignment is that they're going to have to put together this notebook. Once it is put together and in order, they're going to raise their hand. I'm going to come over and I'm going to sign the top corner stating that they have correctly completed that step and they can move on to step 2. Step 2 is I will have a couple of terms up on the smartboard. Now these terms are terms that apply to writing an introductory paragraph. They're also terms that they're going to find in this first page. So they're going to take their yellow highlighter and they are going to highlight these terms. And for example, one of the terms is thesis. And so basically what is happening here is when they have it says write a thesis sentence. Well, if they don't know what a thesis is, I want them to be able to flip to this first page and instantly look for that highlighted term and be like, boom, there it is right there. Super easy to find, takes them no time. Once they have highlighted all the words on the board, they're gonna raise their hand, they're gonna come to me, I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna initial, and then they get to move on to step 3. Step 3 is where they actually start to build their thesis sentence. Very simple. Here, I don't know if you can tell, it just says, I believe blank is responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet. And they're going to put the name there of the person they believe is responsible. Now here, I'm going to be checking for spelling and capitalization. And then at the bottom, it says thesis sentence. It says, in the play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, blank is responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet because. So all they have to do is fill in the name again, and then write the reason why they think that person is responsible. So once they're done with this, they're gonna raise their hand. I'm gonna come by and check. If they did it correctly, I'm gonna sign off. If maybe, they did it correctly, but they didn't really give a good enough reason that I know they're gonna be able to write or find supporting evidence, I'm gonna give some feedback. We're gonna work together and we're gonna get them a stronger thesis sentence built. And once they've got that, I'm gonna sign off and they're gonna move to the final step of the day, which is the graphic organizer. And this is where a majority of the time is gonna be spent. So, the graphic organizer. Basically, right here, it says begin your essay with a hook to get your audience's attention. And it says pick one of these to start your essay. Now, I would love to say also that I completely created this. This is another one that we have on file that I have modified myself, but I have created this side, what they are supposed to be looking for. And so I told them to make a statement about Romeo and Juliet or their deaths. They could just simply say they were crazy. 2, they can make a statement about young love, which goes along with the previous assignment that we had. And then 3, they can just use a quote. So they get to pick one of those and then they get to write their sentence, their hook sentence. Then it says right here, connect your hook to the thesis. What is the subject of this essay? Who are Romeo and Juliet and why are their deaths important? So they're just gonna write who they basically are, why their deaths are important. Example, it brought the city of Verona together. And then the last one, it says, state your claim with 3 points explaining why the characters are responsible. So in here, they have to, once again, write their thesis sentence and then write 3 reasons why they're responsible. And then on the very back, it's gonna say, write all those sentences together to form a paragraph, and they will have written their whole paragraph. And so by the end of this, they will have completed their introductory lesson. Now the way I'm gonna end this lesson is gonna be a simple assessment of FISTA 5, where I'm gonna ask them was writing an introductory paragraph of an essay hard? 1 being wasn't hard at all, 5 being ridiculously hard. And then we're gonna do it again, and I'm gonna ask them simply, did writing the paragraph this way make it easier for you? And they're gonna do the same thing. 1, not really, didn't make it very easy, didn't help. 5, it made it extremely easy. So that's going to give me a little feedback myself, and the goal of this is that each lesson from here on out is we're going to write another paragraph. So the next day we're going to start on body 1, then body 2, and then body 3, and we're going to do this format for all of them, hopefully building a rock star of an argumentative essay. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Have a wonderful evening.